Good morning, happy Tuesday, and hello. All right, let's move our mouse over here. I've decided to experiment with switching everything over to this other side. That way, the chat window on my computer is on the same side as the camera, so I can actually look like I'm looking at you when I'm responding to chat, as opposed to read the chat and then go back to looking at the camera. Sitsu, hello. All right. Well, I got up early enough this morning that I was able to prepare things actually and get the server started, get everything going. I also notice here that looks like we have a revision, no recursion, no regression. Looks like should get an error when authenticated route with a fake token is erroring out now. So that's our middleware. So we're probably not sending some kind of, well, yeah, look at this. So should get an error when using an authenticated route with a fake token. It should be not authenticated, so expected not authenticated, received could not find user. So let's go ahead and fix this in our middleware. Learning backend tests. Where did we? Oh, there we go. Middleware. Could not find user, so you should be that. All right, let's run you again. I'm actually curious. So if I run npx just -h, are there options here that I can have to show me what's happening? Maybe. Well, I wonder if I could also tell it where to watch. Like, go watch in this other directory where our code is. That could be interesting. Then it would automatically rerun the test whenever I change them. Oh, I could also give a test name pattern to only test a certain one. That could be nice. Is there something for printing them as I run them? Okay, bail, exit the test suite immediately after n number of failing tests. So I can maybe bail one. Let's try that. So let's do -b1. Apparently, I don't give it a number. It's just -b, except n number of failing tests seems a little bit odd. Oh, but that was much faster. Okay, I like it. All right, so wait, did they all fail? Oh, oh, right, I need to do the source. So let's try that. Let's update. We have the source just -b. Nope, not that one. npm test. Let's see if that's any better. Still, it's taking a long time, so I believe it's still actually just running all the tests, which is too bad. Maybe every at the beginning of each stream we'll try one more experiment to see if I can get Jest to run a little bit faster. In the meantime, that should pass that regression. And I believe that we can update our other routes to now not grab their own users, and then instead grab the user out of, oh, right. We don't have the user out of. We need to create a user and pass it in somewhere in here. So probably in routes. It's either utilities or routes. I could put. I don't know if I want to put it in middleware. Could go into users. Maybe this makes sense. So we have this struct user. If that's all we care about, I don't necessarily think that it is though. I could also in here put like DB user, middleware user. Anyways, this user I want to then add in a layer and pass in. So that way the other routes now have access to it without just being an active model. I mean, an active model would be really interesting. That could be something we could do. Actually, does it really need to be an active model? It could just be the model, right? That might be fine too. So if your next run, okay, so let's say we're returning this OK next run request. I want to add the user to the request. So that would be this request dot potentially extensions. We want to insert. Now they're going to insert this just thing directly. So like a 5i32 4 9. If an extension of this type already exists, it will be returned. Okay, so you can only have a single type in here. So it would be a user type. Oh, so it would be that model. So if I put in user, cannot borrow data reference as immutable, cannot borrow as mutable. Okay, can I clone you? Oh, you need to be mutable, don't you? And this is immutable. Okay. So I do want this to be some kind of user. I could create I could create another user here, or I can use the user that we have here. This user is being used as part of the user response. I think I might want to create a middleware user. So if I do pub, just to make sure that they're separated out in case there's different types or different fields that we want to have. So we'll do pub struct middleware user. All right, what are things that we care about? Well, let's start. Hello world, you don't care about any users. Tasks. You care about get all tasks. You don't really care about this. We're going to care about get all tasks later when it cares about the user. Create task. You care mostly about the user ID. I believe that's all you're really, yeah, user ID. So that's what you want. And you're gonna be a 32, I think, and you have to be there. I don't think there's anything else in here. Users itself. When we are creating a user, we don't really care about this. It's creating a brand new user, and we're doing all that stuff. Signing in is the same exact thing. Logging out, I actually don't care about the token at all. Well, is that true? I really want. I mean, it would be nice to be able to get. I wonder if I can use interior mutability. Use like an RC or something. Oh wait, no, it wants the opposite. It wants that thing to be mutable. It's like I want to add a layer in an extension. Let's see if we can find anything about that. So if I do Axum Rust add layer middleware. I wonder if there is something in Tower that we can use and take advantage of. Sharing state between handlers and middleware. Using request extensions. But these are getting from there. What if I wanted to add something in middleware? Response extensions can also be used, but note that request extensions are not automatically moved to response extensions. You need to manually do that for the extensions you need. I don't think I want to do this for response extensions. That's extension. Yeah, okay. So you have this layer extension here. So I do want to add an extension. Oh, wait. I'm supposed to I'm supposed to wrap it around this thing. Okay, that's what it is. Hold on, let's try this again. So if I'm in middleware, let's say I'm not even doing that. Let's say I just have this model, this user model. I get you. Why are you upset? Right. Okay, so I'm doing insert. I then want extension and put in user. Cannot borrow data. You don't think it? Well, it wasn't liking it when I just passed in user, which is unfortunate. Because when I pass you in, it also has the same exact error. Cannot borrow data in a reference as mutable. Now this user here, I have ownership of it. Oh, it needs to be extensions mute? Maybe. Let's try that. Cannot borrow request as mutable. Okay. We can fix that. Wait, wrong side. Okay, so we have our mute request. Ooh, okay, that seems to work. Okay, so extensions mute. Now this is going to be the model, and if we look at that, that is this. Is that right? Some model. It's not entity. Okay, so I think it's like the DB users model thing. Okay, I think that works. Thank you, Isitsu. Let's get rid of you because I don't think we need you anymore. We don't need you. We don't need you. Now, if we head back into tasks here, I want to grab out extension user is extension model for users model. Oh, okay. And then I don't need this anymore at all. I don't need to find the user because we have it. All of that code goes away. We create a new task, and then user ID is some user.id. We don't need the header map. Hey, okay, and that's still working. I like it. Okay, let's run the test again. Make sure that at least those tests are working still. If so, that's really nice. That's going to be a great way of sort of off taking logic out of the I guess like out of the route itself and putting it into middleware that just sort of like then passes new things in. And as long as it's a unique type, sort of reminds me of an ECS system a little bit. It's all based on type. Hello, stacking. You don't care what anybody says. Removing code is the best feeling in the world. I agree. Removing code is always feels nice. All right, and this is still working. All right, that's perfect. Let's continue this refactor and now do it to the user stuff. So, create user, sign in, log out. Okay, log out is the one that we care about here. So we don't want header map. You're right. Let me just RMRF. Yeah, sometimes we do that for other people's code too, where we just RMRF slash. That could be a good feeling as well. Or just like take out the entire project and it's like, we don't need to do this anymore. Okay, so okay, so basically all of this where we're getting this out of the headers, we're finding the user. We don't need to do any of that. If let some user equals user, I don't need to do this. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit tougher because now I have to like pull it out of this other code that was assuming user was like maybe not there. But now we know the user is here because it's errored out otherwise. Let me phrase by saying removing code and the code base still works is the best feeling in the world. I mean, yes, I suppose that is the, Cody still works and like, the users are actually still have value. I suppose that helpful. Okay, so I wrap you around. So you are this one right here. We don't need this else. So I can remove you and you. That. All right. So next. That user's active model. Okay, so I need to turn this into an active model. So we need the extension user is an extension model, which is a user model. Then once I have an active model, I can just set a token on it and then hit save. Oh, that's great. Oh, I like this. This is so much easier now to deal with. Okay, so I've saved that. Let's run the test again. Everything should still be good and working. Like I think there's going to be a little bit of fun sort of describing how the extension sort of works. I expect, especially since you're destructuring inside of the signature of the functions. But I don't know, it makes sense to me. So I don't think it's going to be that hard, but if you're brand new to programming, this is going to be difficult. Or if you've never used a language that can do destructuring. If you have an if let with an else, probably is better to use match. Um yeah, yeah, I can see that. I think in that case I was using am I still doing that? Oh yeah, I was doing this. Yeah, and they're both returning to. Yeah, we can switch this to a match. That could make sense. So if I will just match you, and then you are the heir. So heir, we get the heir here, and then you are the else is really gonna be okay, and we don't care about you. Oh, I should have checked to see if Rust Analyzer would just have done that for me. I completely forget. Or we can even use map error. Oh, that's true. Yeah, we could use map error and then question mark it. Oh, that would have been the best. But we have this. So, or an unwrap or else. Yeah. And also, hello, Uncle Scientist. Uh, Tim Towdy. Is that short for something? Um, handle errors or something like that. When there's too many letters in an acronym, I just can't can't process them anymore. Okay, so that works there. Let's try you again. Oh, there's more than one way to do. Oh my gosh, that okay. I am not gonna remember that. That is a long acronym for that. I mean, it would be fun to write a little like a web extension, a browser extension that expands acronyms, sort of like macros. All right, here we go. So this is all working. Next up would be in the task CRUD. So let's go ahead and commit this. So we refactored routes to use user model, added in extension. Oh, it's from the Perl community. That actually makes a ton of sense why it's just a completely unreadable mess. Sorry for anybody who just loves Perl. But I could never get into it. I was a systems administrator for 8 years and I tried and just could not get into Perl. It was just too much for me. So I stuck with Bash and Python. Cannot create a task without all required data. Okay, so when creating a task, let's take a look at this test here. So this is saying, well, okay, so we should be, expected missing task title, received undefined. Okay, so if we, I wonder if it errored out for something. It never got to this point, so we don't know what that is. So we should get a missing task title if we don't have the title in here. All right, so routes, task. We're creating a new task. We have the request task. So I suppose here's another question is, should I create another middleware just for request task? It could be worse. It could be Lisp or Objective-C. Oh my, Objective-C was a thing. I remember thinking, okay, I'm gonna create some Apple apps. Like that's gonna be a thing. And then I look into Objective-C and it was like, what? No. No way. Um Also, Kevin, hello. You're new here, so you don't know why you're using it's not TypeScript. It's just JavaScript. So I'm using JavaScript to test Rust code. Yeah, exactly. Who wouldn't do that? Um, so honest answer, we are creating a backend in Rust. So it's an Axum server. So it's just a standard API server. And this is for a course that I'm creating where you're creating a new Axum server. And it's already been created in Express and Node.js. So I created a completely separate integration test project essentially, which then has all the tests sort of described out for it. So if you were to take this course, you don't need to worry about the testing part of the API at all. These tests simply send Axios requests. So they just send HTTP requests out to the backend and then expect that the result is exactly the same as we would exactly as what we expect it to be. Words are hard today. So that's why we're having JavaScript do the testing part. That's all that's happening. And I'm doing this in JavaScript because the assumption is that anybody who's taking this test is familiar with JavaScript because that's like the most popular language for relatively new developers who are working with APIs. Also, it's not that hard to read through and just see like, okay, we're sending a post request out to this. All right, so there's a design question here, and I don't know if Axum has a best practice yet for this. You're currently writing some plain JavaScript, and you keep on using .await at the end instead of at the beginning with that return await. I know. I've gone back and forth between the liking the await at the beginning and then liking the way that JavaScript does it, where you have a wait at wait at the beginning versus a wait just sprinkled throughout it. I think I'm starting to like the way that Rust does it. I do like seeing the await at the beginning to sort of like just let me know that hey, this line is is asynchronous. Uh, so you like my eyes hit it first, but meanwhile, there's you who has almost no JS experience. I know. I can't do perfect for everybody. I can't like make 25 different testing, frameworks that for all the different languages. So we're just gonna go with the one where I'm gonna hit statistically the largest number of people. So congratulations, Patatas. You don't have the you don't have like the JavaScript. I don't know what things to say about it. You don't have JavaScript in your brain, which is something to be I don't know, congratulate you for, because like in this day and age, if you haven't had to do JavaScript yet, that's impressive. That means you're good at what you're doing. Wish it was a postfix macro rather than a magic keyword that looks like a field, but I see the benefits wrapping awaits in brackets. It's there's so many different things. There's so many different ways. He was made to learn programming with Python and C++. And the thing is, like, you can get really far in programming with Python and C++. It just makes it harder to do front end stuff because you usually need JavaScript for front end stuff these days. But even 10 years ago, you can get away with JavaScript-less websites. Now it's a little bit harder, although I guess you can write a framework like this that just does it all for you. So you could do front end and still not do JavaScript. It's gonna be great. Okay, so anyways, what are we doing? We are making a decision. Do we have another piece of middleware here? And the middleware is going to get all of the task and put it into an intermediary, like I guess it would create this request task. Like, do we want to have the request task created in some kind of middleware? I kind of like that idea. So I'm thinking in my mind, I'm thinking about frameworks like Laravel and PHP. Laravel is a really good framework. I like it a lot. There's some other ones out there. I think Java has Spring. Ruby has Rails, and I think they all have this sort of idea of I want to guard against getting into creating the task unless all the things that we're passing in are appropriate. So if I have this request task here and I need a title, everything else is optional, but I absolutely must have a title, then I could have a middleware that returns an error if you don't get that, and then create task doesn't even need to check to see if the title exists there and doesn't need to send an error if it doesn't have it. I like that. I don't even know if I need a custom type then, because I could just have this request task be the thing passed in the extension. So that would be in middleware here. Now, the next thing is like this is very like utilitarian middleware. I kind of want the middleware to be in here. To say something like, okay, pub function create task guard. We look at the middleware and it's pretty much exactly the same stuff as what we have in here. Oh, the only difference is we have this T. So we have a request and then a next, which is the exact same T. Okay. So T request is a request T. Next is a next T. Then we're going to do a result. That is going to be a response. Yeah, just a response. And an app error. And we'll put a to-do in this. Okay, so now I can use this create task guard. We'll go back to mod. And I want this to go for create task. You go right in front of you. So do a layer here. And this happens after this one. So we make sure that they are authenticated first. Might as well not even run this one unless they're authenticated. And then we're going to do Axum middleware from function. I want to, where am I pulling tasks? So here's create task. I want create task guard. Okay, so you're upset. Oh, right. You need to be a future. Okay, pub async function. I'll make you happy. But that would create a task on the log out route. So I'm not going to create the task on the log out route. But yes, it's true. Oh yeah, that's the thing. As I want this to only run for this one thing. Can I? So that's the thing now is how can I potentially break up the router so I run this layer only middleware if it matches this route? That would be really nice. So I use the nested router now. Okay, so that's the next thing to learn. Nested routers. Or is there a way to run middleware on certain routes? Which I don't think there is. Not seeing anything obvious here. These are all about the middleware now itself. Yeah, okay. So let's take a look at modules. Sorry, routing modules. Now in Express, if you're used to that, seems like it is a busy middleware for something that's only needed for a single route. Yeah. Well, I know. I want something else. I want a guard. Maybe I don't use middleware for this. Maybe instead. So instead of doing this here, go back to task. So instead of we do create task guard, we create this as a create task guard. It's still going to be async. We don't use any of that. I'm going to return a result with an app error, and then this is going to be a request task. So that way we can call create task guard in here. So we can go let request task equals like that. I don't actually think I need this to be async. So that way I get you out, and then I don't need to handle this properly. So that way if there's an error, okay, so now what do we need to pass in? I need to pass in this request task into here. And I'm going to pass in the proper one. So I'm kind of shadowing it. I don't know how much I like that. Seems like impl from request for request task. Is that impl from request? Let's see if they talk about this from request. There's a responses. Is it part of routing? Extractor. Okay, right. Extractors. That's the right word. Extractors. An extractor is a type that implements from request. Extractors is how you pick apart the incoming request to get the parts your handler needs. Oh yeah. That might be it. Can I have it? Error out. Self-rejection. That's a thing. Okay, so we have common extractors and we want custom extractors. Request bodies are asynchronous streams. They can only be requested once. Did it? Like perpetrate from request. Okay, that's not really, that's just how the trait is. Okay, so we have my extractor. Impl from request for my extractor. Type rejection equals HTTP status code. Oh, so rejection, I can make that an app error, potentially. I don't know if I want to, though. HTTP status code might be enough. Async function from request. Speed results. Self rejection. Okay. And then I do the thing. It doesn't show how to build that, but we can try it. Okay, so this is from request. Let's try doing that. So instead of this guard, let's do that there. We won't need this guard here. We're going to for request task here. We're going to impl from request for request task. Oh, interesting. It created these life zeros when I think they were supposed to be B's. Yeah. Like that. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I haven't seen life zero before. Uh, okay. Don't need you anymore. I mean, so this is not airing out, which I'm surprised about. Just because okay, now it is. Uh, you need one generic parameter. Okay, so you need impl. We need to give these generics here. So impl t Type rejection, we're going to do an HTTP return code, I think. What was it? Status code? Yeah, status code. Okay, then you are, so from request. Interesting, it's not showing that as using a lifetime at all. But anywhere we have a B is going to be the T. You don't take a generic. Okay. It's the first time we're using pin, although it's auto-generated for us, so that's going to be fun. Okay. So we do all this stuff, where, and then we're going to return. Request. Where's our, oh wow, okay. Here's our result. Self and then self rejection. Okay, so self is going to be this thing that we're returning. Okay, so, or it's going to be the error code, which I might want to do as an app error too. That'll be, it would be nice if we could do an app error. Let's try that. So if I do an app error. Okay, so first off, we need to extract out all of these things. So we have our request, and we want to get the, let's say we try to get the title out of it first. So if I do let title equals, okay, so request dot body. Oh, and then probably like a get or insert. You can use the extract method to get the JSON extractor. I like how they don't have the example code in there. Extract method. So body, what can I do in here? What are you exactly? You are, oh, you're an option. Right, okay. So if you don't have a body, I want this to already be an error. So we can, is it map or else? Or is it, no, it's okay or else. And then we can question mark this. So if there's no body, so, I don't know if we care about this. Oh, the extract is on the request, not on the body. Oh, interesting. Oh, there we go. Okay, so extract. Oh, interesting. So method, URI. And then down here, the way we were using it is this JSON request task. You could pass it a generic parameter with a JSON T extractor like in a route function. Ooh, okay, so I would need another. So this T is for request parts. Can I use the same? I don't know if I can. I don't know if that's what it's like the T is for. Uh, I extract that gives me the results. Or if I want body, or I guess JSON. I want JSON, I think. JSON request task, like self. T cannot be sent between threads safely. Okay, so JSON self. Oh, because okay, so self for this. But even if I say like request task, oh, it did have a send, didn't it? Where okay, so where b equals send. So this is here. So where t equals send. Okay, so that's how JSON. This is self again. Oh, you don't like this. Equality constraint. Oh, it's not equals, right? It's colon. Yeah, it's colon. Okay, now back to you again. The trait bound HTTP body is not satisfied. Required because of the requirements, the import from request. Okay, so I need to also say plus Axum body HTTP body. Okay, so you have that there. Oh, plus. T, oh, for the error now, cannot be shared between threads safely. The trait sync is not implemented for T. Okay, now T is here, this one. Oh, wait, no, that's the same thing. Interesting. Okay, so T as T is each body error sync. Interesting. Okay, so it wants me to put that in here. No, I don't think so. Maybe just sync. I'll use a comma. Oh, as in like HTTP body comma sync? Wait, is that a thing? I don't think it's a thing. Let's put it back to what I had here. So, comma. You don't know what that is. Import you. Okay. Next up. T as HTTP body error cannot be sent between threads safely. The trait send is not So the same error. Oh, but now it's I want sync plus send. Maybe because the requirements the impl of into box send error plus send plus sync plus static. Oh, okay, so send sync. Well, I have send here. Although, do I have to do like sync plus send here for this thing? Do send like that. Here. Consider further restricting the associated type TSH body data send. Okay, so I just did send also. See requirements for from request T. That was error. This is data. Oh, yeah. Look at this. TSHTML data cannot be sent. Okay, you're right. Good catch. I guess like I'm scrolling to the bottom of the errors and then going up, and I'm not going up high enough, far enough to test it. Okay, so let's make this a little bit nicer to sort of see. So we have T is this thing. Cargo format is not happy with me right now until probably I figure this out. So it's true sync plus send. I have cargo format run on save, and it's not working. It doesn't work when there's errors. That's what I've noticed. Okay, so the next up, the trait bound error standard error is not satisfied. Because the requirements, the impulse, then it's consider further restricting the associated type TSHC body error standard error. Okay, so we want error to also have this. And you need to import you. Can I find? Wait, I just brought you in. Sir, standard error. Did I just not? Where did I just bring in? Oh, it's the wrong one. It's error trait. Oh, do I not have the Surde error? Okay, so consider importing this trait. Use Surde Sir. That works for that. Hey, and this works now. Take a look at the Axum extract JSON type to see what they do. Sure. That's the Axum extract JSON type. Open this up again. So we want the extract JSON. Wait, where was the extract JSON? I want the source code for it. Great. Okay. Well, that did not take me to where I expected it to go. Okay, so from request, I want extractors. Let's do the JSON again. Can you just control click sometimes? If we take a look at extract JSON, yeah, okay. I guess gonna go here. I'm too used to going to the documentation and having to just work. But okay, so this will impl T and B from request or JSON T from request B. Oh, interesting. So we have two types where T is deserialized owned, B is HTTP body from send, B is data send, B is error into box error. Oh, interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So two different types here. Also, hello, Epic Blarg. Your trait bounds are making you look like one of the original Rust developers. That's not necessarily a good thing right now. All right, so back to task. So I might want to do this as TB because I'm doing a little bit too much in one. So impl T and B from request B for JSON T. Okay, so T and B from request T B for JSON T. Okay, so B for request task. Oh, but this request task doesn't actually. Oh, but you know what? This doesn't need to be typed. So it doesn't need to be the other thing. So never mind. Because we know what type this is that we're getting back. It's not, yeah, I don't need the B. Or I only need one generic here. Okay, so because I don't need the T here, I only care about the B, which means I want these things where we have HT body send, data send. Okay, so if I copy these, I want you to be put here, and then you become, oh, you're not going to be happy. Okay, you'll kind of be happy there. T colon. Now that's interesting. Into box error, import box error. Okay, so it's not unhappy. So extract JSON self. Now this gives me a future, so I await. It gives me a result. Can I question mark you, or is it the wrong kind of result? I don't think I can question mark you. It's the wrong kind of result. Okay, so we have to handle this result ourselves. So we are going to match. Fill the match arms. Okay, so we have okay, and this is going to be the content. So, oh, map error with. Oh, I keep on forgetting. Map error with. Let's try map error. Well, yeah, map error. Okay, so we have maps result, TE to result. What exactly are you? Missing match arm. Wait, do I want to? I don't think I want to match yet. I think I'm confusing everything with that. Okay, so we await. Why are you upset? Await is only allowed inside of async functions and blocks. Oh no. because this is not async function or block. Oh, but I can do it as a block, right? But can I do it? Oh, I don't think I can do it as a block inside of a non-async block, can I? I can't just say, you could put it in a box pin async. Oh, really? I don't think I've ever done that. So box pin, not that kind of pin. Oh, no, yeah, async. That. Then you go in here. Okay, what are you? Cannot find value OP. What is this? Map error. Map error function something or F something. OPO maps a result to results. Wait, I get an option or result? Samples. Map error, stringify. That's not helpful. Oh, stringify. Takes in X. Which is that error. Goes into there. Okay, so you need to be this error. What are you? Ah, you're the JSON rejection. Okay. Off by John. Yes, unfortunately, we're getting close to the end. But hello. Okay, so I want to convert this to an app error. So an app error new. We're gonna do a status code, internal server error. Now, JSON rejection is an actual error. I wonder if I can do this as an error. Pass in the error. Can you handle that? Hey, look at that. Rust format finally ran. Okay. So I got that done. Now this gives me a result with the right type. So I can now question mark that. And that gives me a JSON request task. So now I can do, if the JSON fails, the right status code would be 400 bad request. Ooh, it might be. You're right. It probably is. Let's do bad request. And you are JSON, and I guess you're gonna be like the body at this point, which is request task. App error is not satisfied. Oh, okay. So it's not an error. So like that. Where did my question mark go? So question mark you. This error, if I just pass in you, no, that doesn't make you happy. What's going on? The trait bound nothing from residual result infallible app error is not satisfied. The trait from residual result infallible app error is not implemented for nothing. Wait, is that because we're in this pin box? I can't return like an error from that? Or I need to return that? No. I could put the to-do in here. Okay. There we go with that. Okay. So we have our JSON body, request task. So I now have this. That was happening because you were returning void in the Lambda. Oh, interesting. Okay. Now I wonder if I want to. Oh, I wonder if I want to use this sort of like as a builder pattern, and that we could have a custom error message for this. So instead of well, if I do this right now, I think I'll get the 400 correctly, but I won't get a custom error message for missing title. I think I'm gonna have to have this be an option here, and then uh, and then detect that later and say like, hey, you should do the thing. That was happening because you're returning void in the Lambda. Okay, in the closure. I guess that makes sense. Yeah. It's gonna like anytime that I go do these new things, it takes me like a few times to sort of start internalizing it and update my internal mental model of how things are working, and then it just sort of becomes second nature. Uh, it just takes a little while. Okay, so I have our JSON. We extract our body, but if title doesn't exist yet, we get an error at this point. Map error. We're not using you for one reason or another. And I'm not using this body. So let's say I now take body and I want to return a self. Like priority would be body dot priority. So at this point, I could just return body. Is it actually return body? What am I returning? I'm returning core pin box. Oh, result. Okay, body. Okay, body. But I don't think I've actually done anything. Londo Spark, thank you so much for this subscription. And I know 6 months, time has been flying. But thank you again. Okay, so if I do this, I don't think anything else should change. We should be able to use this extractor now, and it should be exactly the same result. So get all task, create task. Now we're using this JSON request task. I believe now I change this to be, how do I use it? I just use it as the type, right? It doesn't really have an example of using it in, does it? So if I do task, here's create task. So I want you to now be request task. And I don't think I do I still do JSON? Or is it now just request task? Expect to strike request task. I just do this, like that. Now request task. Okay. So I think that works the way we expect it to. If we come back to our tests, we should still get this exact same problem with these same, everything else should be pretty much the same. Let's run this again. You love how Axum uses Rust pattern matching and function parameters. For destructuring like that? Yeah, it is nice. It's actually something that I hadn't really thought of, but I use it a lot in JavaScript, and so doing that in Rust would be really nice too. It seems a little verbose. You like to use Actix webs into inner instead. Okay, here we go. So exactly the same errors, and so what I could do now, go back to task. So I would need to make this an option string. An option string. That will make this pass. And then before I do the body, we need to do some guards here. So if body dot title is none, then I want to return early. Now I could also do this as a match. That might work too. Let's try this. So if I would that work? Can I do the pattern with that body? Maybe, because it's actually just a request task. I don't know. Let me do this first to see if it works. So we're gonna return an error, app error, new. So we're gonna have a status code. This is a bad request. Yeah, I know. So I'm gonna add, potentially we have more of them here, and we want to show the pattern off for other people if they want to have more guards, even if we only have one guard. And then the error. So we have the error, error, and then this case, our error is supposed to be missing task title. Right, and this is the entire thing, is that we have to have this specific error unique for this one. Okay, so if we do that, return that one. Now, we exited early, so I don't need an else. We just come all the way down. If we get past these guard clauses, we can now do the okay. Match sounds better, or even okay or map error. Although this isn't an option. Oh, but this is. Oh, an okay or. Yeah, okay or could be good too. Hold on, let's try this one first really quickly. Oh, no, errors. Errors down here. So, right, now, so now you are saying, hey, this is a problem. You are, I almost want to do a builder pattern where we have the request, like maybe we do this as like the JSON request task. But then I want to return a just request task from this. You are just a string. So that way, all of these are options. Okay, JSON request task. Okay, so we're going to do this for JSON request task. Okay, my ordering of this is really bad. I'm sorry for doing my where after another struct. That's terrible. Okay, so we do this. Where's my request task? Where's my self? So instead of returning self, I want to return a request task instead of a JSON request task. And this is now going to be down here. Okay, so we get a JSON request task. Okay, body. This is now going to be a request task. Illustrate fields. So priority is now going to be body dot priority. Title is going to be body dot title dot unwrap. And I can safely unwrap it because we've handled this here. But maybe we can do this as the unwrap or the okay or. Okay. Is it okay or else or okay or? I can never remember which one I want to do. I think it's okay or else. So then we have this that happens in there. Oh no. Try to be tricky. Just copy you into here. Description now becomes body dot description. I don't need this guard clause anymore. And I do need you to be question marked. Wait, I need something to be question marked. You to be question marked. Replace the JSON self. Oh, where did I have that? Where was JSON self? Core pin box. I'm missing. So I had this as a request task. Do I want this to be? No, this is still self-rejection because it's from the JSON, from the extract. Oh, JSON self. There we go. Okay. This is a request task. Wait, are you sure? I'm requesting. No. Because I want to request this as a self. I would want to request it from this JSON request self. Self is wrong. So like the self responds to JSON request. And I am allocating an object. So that's why I wanted to do the okay or else. Yeah. I don't think I want to do it on how is self wrong? Because self it requests the JSON request task. Right. The request task is what I'm requesting is I'm returning from this. So I'm actually want to get this from the request itself. And then I want to create the request task from the request. That's why we have options here. Because the title is missing, I want that to be a none so that I can handle that for the request. It has to return self, so impl for request task. Oh. It has to return self? Oh, no. Okay. So if this has to return self, then yeah, I need to do this. Okay. I get what you're saying. Your request. So impl this for request task. And then you would be. So then extract. This will be JSON request task. That gives me the JSON request task. Okay, I got it now. Then this could be a self like that. Okay. No errors. Let's find out if this works. Yeah, and it's super easy for me to reverse that kind of stuff backwards. So thank you for that. Is it taking longer than normal or am I just impatient? I can't tell. Okay. And let's see. Ooh, we now pass this. Cannot create a task without all the required data. So now our next one is in the get all tasks. Don't you prefer to put the title okay or else in a variable. Yeah, that might be a better way to doing it. Let's do a quick refactor of that. So now I got that green. So let's that could be our guard clause inside of here. So if I take you, we cut you out, and we're just going to put title like this. We'll do, the guards will essentially be that title equals that. And then we'll have a series of guards based upon more things that we absolutely have to pass in for any other of these extractors that we need to do. This is fun. Okay, but it seems to work just fine. Can we simplify the trait impl by using async trait? How do you mean? I mean, we might be able to. I might also be able to copy from this one. Yeah, this one has an async function in here. That would make it a lot easier. Oh, it's from this thing. Oh, I totally missed that. Oh, okay. This is okay. So I have to go for today because I am way later than I want to be, but we're going to gonna add this in here and do okay. So our next steps for this. Rust will do that to you. Yeah. Okay, so use the async trait macro from you so that we can have our extractor cause our eyes to bleed less. Because this is a lot. And that other extractor, this is almost a full page. Hi. Zilly wants me to go play with him. So nope, you don't want to hang out here? Oh, I know what you want. You want Mousy. Got Mousy? Ready? Go. Okay. So this is saved. All of these are saved. Okay, so let's update this. What did we do? We created a custom extractor to get a task and handle missing data. So that's the proper way to do it, is create the custom extractor as opposed to using some kind of like middleware or anything else like that. The middleware probably is easier to do, but the extractor is the more appropriate way to do it. Okay, so next time is going to be Thursday morning, and we're going to refactor the from request to be better, to basically be less long, and so we don't have to use this box pin manual stuff. Although knowing that is pretty cool. This is nice. Anyways, so this was fun. Thank you everybody for the help. Thank you Asitsu especially for helping out with the extractors and making sure we're doing everything in the right orders. That was, I think I started rushing myself at the end, which makes it always a little bit harder to get things correct. So usually do it manually like this. Yeah. Okay. So as I mentioned, I'll be back on Thursday morning 7 a.m. Mountain Time, and we'll continue with this. Have a great rest of your day, everybody, and see you then. Bye.